Hello, my name's Tommy Cox and welcome to my Tommy C. Vinyl channel. This is episode 8 and it's actually a combination of 2 days, New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. I went out and did a little Goodwill safari hunting on some vinyl. Found a few LPs on New Year's Eve. I went to the Goodwill out on 221 and found some really cool albums. So I'm going to share it with you those first, and then I'll talk about what I found today. You know, the cool thing is every time I go there, it's always new. There's new vinyl in there, so they're getting records almost all the time. These records here I found, I just took a chance on this first one. It's a group out of North Carolina, and I can't remember exactly whereabouts they're based out of, but they're called the Spontanes Play Solid Soul. And I had a hard time trying to find anything about them. There was a few things that I did find online through Google, and evidently this is the only album they released in 1966, and it's got a bunch of covers that they do on here, but an incredible album. Kind of think like beach soul music for the period. The songs, the track listing on here, I'm on the outside looking in, Ain't No Big Thing, Reach Out, I'll Be There, My Girl, Thank You John, Summertime, Share My Name, Raise Your Hand, 39, 29, 46, Everything's Going to Work Out, Get Ready, and Midnight Hour. A great album. Evidently these are sought after, and I do have this one listed right now for sale. But anyway, if you find one of these, they're very rare. You know, this is going online trying to find anything about this album was tough. But anyway, great album. If you see one, grab it. It's a great album. All right, our next album here, Christopher Cross' first solo album. I think it's his first one. This is, I think, a second pressing. The record was in mint condition. The Spontanes album was good condition. It played, didn't skip or anything, had little scuff marks and stuff, but played all the way through. This record looks, I mean, it's got a few little smudges and dust on it, but I don't even see any scratches or scrapes on this album. So I would say this one's pretty much near mint. I haven't listened to this one yet, but hopefully here in the next day or so, I'm going to put it on the turntable and give it a spin. He's got Larry Carlton playing on a song on this album. Michael McDonald's singing backing vocals on it. Eric Johnson is playing guitar on it. Some cool, musicians on this. Song listing on this, Say You'll Be Mine, I Really Don't Know Anymore, Spinning, Never Be the Same, Poor Shirley, Ride Like the Wind, The Light Is On, Sailing, and Minstrel Gigolo. I think I'm saying that right. Anyway, I think that's his first one and a second pressing on that. And then this one was a neat surprise. Remember the old, I guess people near my age, probably if you're in your 30s, 40s, 50s, and up, you'll probably remember Ktel Presents. You used to see these commercials all the time. Basically, they're just compilation albums of music of the period. This album's called Full Tilt, and songs by Blondie, The Tide Is High, Let My Love Open the Door, Pete Townsend, Whip It, Devo, Hot Rod Hearts, Robbie Dupree, Take Your Time, Do It Right, Part 1, the SOS Band, I'm Happy That Love Has Found You, Jimmy Hall, Who'll Be the Fool Tonight, Larson Fetten Band, I'm probably saying that wrong. Pointer Sisters, He's So Shy, Ambrosia, You're the Only Woman, Shining Star, Manhattans, Midnight Rocks, Al Stewart, Misunderstanding, Genesis, Ain't That a Shame, Cheap Trick, and Hit Me With Your Best Shot, Pat Benatar. So all these are from 1980. But anyway, I did listen to this. Sounded really good. The record looked pretty much like it was mint condition, like it had never been played. I think there was one little skip on this one, but it wasn't horrible. I think it's something that probably just some dust or something in there. But otherwise, the record was in great condition. So those are the records I found on New Year's Eve. Today, I headed to Bedford, went to the Goodwill in Bedford, and they had no vinyl. As a matter of fact, I met somebody in there that they had CDs, and he told me they hardly ever have vinyl in there. He's been going in there for years, and he's never seen vinyl in there. So I kind of did a about face and headed back to Lynchburg. And then I decided to go back to the Goodwill that I went to on New Year's Eve out on 221 and found a bunch of cool vinyl. So I'm going to share these with you. This one I listened to today, and it's called Jazz Guitar Bach. Bach pieces that are turned into like jazz guitar tunes. Andre Benichou, I think I'm saying his name right, on guitar, and his Well-Tempered 3. Pretty cool album. It almost reminded me of a surf album. This record is mint. It's still in the plastic. I can't remember the year exactly. What was fascinating when I bought some of these, they had a Discogs paper inside it giving you the value of the record. You know, basically all your vinyls are 50 cents a piece over there. So, you know, I basically paid 50 cents for a mint record that dates back to the 60s. I want to say it's maybe like in the mid or early 60s. But a great sounding album. Sleeve is original. I mean, everything about this record was pretty much mint condition. I played it and sounded great. Kind of sounded like surf guitar music, but played in the classical way. So they say jazz guitar, but it sounded more like surf to me. This next one, this one was interesting. The Best of 66 Volume 1. Artists on here, the Brothers Four, the Byrds, Chad and Jeremy, the Circle, John Davidson, Bob Dylan, the new Chrisley Minstrels, the Pozo Seco Singers, Paul Revere and the Raiders, Billy Joel Roll, and Simon and Garfunkel. Kind of more acoustic based, but definitely you know, from the period. I think this is like a mid 60s album in mint condition. Had a little bit of a bend in the corner here, but I mean, other than that, the record it still has the price tag on here. The record was mint. I listened to it all the way through. Sounded great. Really cool album in mono. So this album here was in mono. The next one I listened to is called Baroque Guitar. I'm not sure I'm pronouncing this right. Baroque Guitar Concerto, maybe. But anyway, that's this album. Fantastic. The album sounded great. I love classical guitar, and this album was just mint. It looked like a brand new record. Again, this album came out in the 60s. I'm just going to show you this because it looks literally like it's brand new. I don't know if the light's catching it good enough where you can kind of see the record itself and what it looks like, but dog hair on there. But it looks like brand new. Anyway, I put that on the turntable this evening and it sounded great. Definitely, if you see a copy of that somewhere, it is worth putting into your record collection. This one I'm definitely going to hold on to. It was really cool, and just a great sounding album. Basically, you're looking at Vivaldi. I don't know if I'm saying this right. It's F-A-S-C-H, Foch maybe, and K-R-E-B-S, Cribs. Again, my pronouncing all this is probably wrong, but anyway, that's that album right there. Great record, mint condition, 50 cents, which is unbelievable. This next one, Hawaii calls favorite instrumentals on the islands, with Al Kealoha Perry. A very cool sounding album, all instrumental, some Hawaiian, lap steel sounding guitar. Another record that was in pretty much mint condition, looked brand new, on Orange Capitol, which I'm thinking this is a 70s pressing. So I think this record was issued probably, or it could be a third pressing. I know Capitol changes their labels. I've seen one that had the green and the rainbow black Capitol, and then these orange Capitols, which I think are the 70s. I think they're 70s, and then 80s they went purple. But anyway, great record. It did have a skip on the second side. Again, I think it's just where it's not been played in a long time. I think it'll be fine. I think if I played a little bit more, it'll probably, because I didn't see any scratches or deep scratches. The record kind of looked mint to me. I did listen to these. Pretty much these first ones here I've listened to. Marianne, Faithful Forever, London label in stereo. This is an original, I think 66 pressing. It's on the blue London label, and the record pretty much is mint. Looks like it's never been played. They had several Marianne Faithful albums over there. I just grabbed this, and record looks brand new, like it's never been played. This one also had a Discogs paper attached to it, kind of giving you an idea of the value of the record. I think maybe they did that just to, maybe let Goodwill know, what their value is. I think Goodwill sells all their LPs for 50 cents a piece. Because basically I bought 7 albums there today and spent basically $4, and I spent $2 on the 3 that I got yesterday. So in total, I've got $6 and 17. I got 10 albums. So I mean that's incredible. For $6, I got 10 records here, in pretty much mint condition. This one was interesting here. Maxell. You remember the cassette tape that we all used back in the day to record on? Well, this here is basically a rock compilation. The sleeve was out of it when I was looking at it and found it. And this has a Discogs paper in it, actually. So whoever owned or whoever donated these to Goodwill attached these little printed Discog papers to it. And kind of giving you the idea of the lowest price, the median price, and the highest price of these records. So I thought that was pretty cool that they would do that. The cover was mint. It did have a gatefold with all the bands that's on this compilation. The record was pretty much mint, and I'll show you that. You can kind of see it in the light there, what it looks like. And but Maxell Rock Sampler is what that's called. And the bands on here, I was trying to see who all's on there. Let me go back to the gatefold. Inside the gatefold, it lists all the bands that are on this compilation. And let's see here. So basically, you got bands like let's see, Triumph is on here. Starbuck, never heard of them. The Straubs, Rufus and Shaka Khan, which I've heard. Odyssey, Omaha Sheriff, Dara Hall, John Oates, Harvey Mason, and the Alan Parsons Project. So that's what's all that's on this compilation. I looked this up, and and I mean, this is a mint copy, and I haven't listened to it yet. So and I haven't listened to the Marianne Faithful one yet either. I'm curious to hear those. All right, and the last one I did listen to, just got done listening to this one just a few minutes ago. Frank Sinatra's Greatest Hits, The Early Years. This is a great album. It is just fantastic. I mean, listen to it all the way through. The record is pretty much mint. It's in one of those little clear plastic sleeves that's shaped to the record, which is kind of hard to get in and out, so I'm not going to pull this one out, but the record was in mint condition, played and sounded great. An album that dates back to, I think this was 1966, and it's a mono copy. Songs on here: I've Got a Crush on You, If You Are But a Dream, Nancy, The Girl That I Marry, The House I Live In, That's America to Me, Dream, Saturday Night Is the Loneliest Night of the Week, 5 Minutes More, which is a great song, The Coffee Song, They've Got an Awful Lot of Coffee in Brazil, Sunday, Monday, or Always, and Put Your Dreams Away for Another Day. So that's the track listing on this. If you see one of these, this is a great one to add to your collection. I listen to a little bit of everything. I mean, I'm more of a rock fan and blues fan, but listening to some of this stuff, it's really cool. I mean, to listen to something where it's actually people playing and an orchestra, and it just sounds unreal. But anyway, those are the finds that I found today, and all these records were pretty much mint condition. Like I said, 10 records and $6. Not bad. I've got one of these up right now on eBay, the Spontanes, which I think will be a pretty good one. If it doesn't sell, it doesn't. I kind of buy them and move them here and there. If you see anything that you might want, leave me a comment and let me know if there's anything in this collection that I shared with you, if you're interested in it. I'm not attached to any of it except maybe a few. I'm a vinyl fan, so I will listen to them, and there's a few that I might keep. But anyway, let me know what you thought today on the video, and if you have any of these records in your collection. Please like, subscribe, and share. Let me know what you think, and I hope you have a great year, and we'll see you on the next round. You have a great night, and I'll talk to you soon. God bless.